The objectives is to research present an unfamiliar topic, organize the speech clearly to maximize audience understanding, craft clear and engaging transitions between main sections of your speech, use and cite sources to support speech content, and to make source list available. So, Lewis, do you have a title for your speech, please?
Beyond the Wave.
Beyond the Wave. So, with a speech entitled Beyond the Wave, can you please give a warm welcome to Lewis Santa Marta?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow members, and most welcome guest. Close your eyes. Imagine being in the ocean, on top of an old boat. Forget who you are, because right now you are a brave fisherman. You are returning back home after fishing, and your crew's returning back. On the horizon, you see your hometown. Everything feels good, everything feels fine. Smell the ocean. Everything is calm. Suddenly, a storm strikes. The calm ocean wakes up in rage. A gust of wind makes your ship tremble, and your worst nightmare just comes true. A giant wave emerges from the surface and starts rushing towards you. You feel overwhelmed. You feel impotent. How can you overcome a challenge this big? Open your eyes. Welcome to the Great Wave of Kanagawa by Katsushiki Hokusai. A piece of art that in 1800 struck both Japan and the Western world. I'm sure you've seen it before, but have you ever stopped to actually look at it? Tonight, I invite you to contemplate it and see if after 170 years, there are still things that we can learn about it. And to do it, I'll answer 3 questions. How did we get here? What do we have in front of us? And what can we do about it? Let's sail, shall we? The Great Wave of Kanagawa is a woodlock print printed around 1830, meaning the drawing was actually carved on a piece of wood and then printed on paper. It was so popular at the time that around 5,000 copies were made of it. It was art for the middle class, and it was actually pretty cheap, just the cost of a cup of noodles. The man of the hour that we need to talk about is Katsushiki Hokusai, that at the age of 70 he made this painting. He was one of the most ukiyo-e prolific painters in Japan. But the image was not the only one. In fact, the image belongs to a series of 36 views of Mount Fuji, where the author tried to capture the essence of Mount Fuji seen from 36 different points of view. And that's another question. Did you notice that on the wave there's actually a mountain? To answer it, let me answer the second question. What do we have in front of us? Just like in Toastmaster, this story is told in 3 parts. First, we have the wave, our giant wave exploring the ocean with its pointy claws ready to attack. Then we have 3 different ships showing us different ways of overcoming this weight, all with fishermen inside afraid. And last but not least, we have back in the background Mount Fuji, which surprisingly is below the wave and above the sailors. Did you know the actual name of the painting? It's not the Great Wave of Kanagawa, it's Under the Wave of Kanagawa, referring to the Mount Fuji that we see behind me. The painting was a huge success, but did you know that this is a really European painting? And there are mainly 2 reasons for that. The first one is that the painting uses a linear perspective, in which the center of the painting turns to be Mount Fuji. And then we have a low horizon line, in which it helped the audience to feel that they are inside the painting. A technique that was not used in Japan at the time, and that was very innovative. Is the wave coming towards? The second thing in which we see that this is a really European painting is that the main color is Prussian blue. And as the name says, Prussian blue comes, correct, from Prussia. And talking about color, did you notice that the painting mainly uses only 2 colors, blue and yellow? A surprising choice, I would say, considering that this is a really dangerous image that we are seeing, and we do not see red nor black. On the other hand, we see gentle colors that soothe us. And if you pay attention to the way it is drawn, It looks like if all three elements just merge into a single one. Are the fishermen maybe not that important in this painting? Moving forward, the painting, when it arrived to Europe, it had a massive success. A lot of the artists were inspired by it, from Monet to Turner. Even Claude Debussy made a whole composition regarding this painting. Or, did you know that Van Gogh was a really fan of Hokusai? Don't you see in his Starry Night on the shape of the clouds the actual wave we've just seen? And what about currently? Currently, we have this painting everywhere. We have it in tattoos, we have it in t-shirts, we have it in walls. Everywhere is around us. And hey, look at your phone. There's even an emoji about this painting. So what is it? What is it that brings us to this painting once again and once again? Having looked at it, I would say that we can mainly learn three things about this painting. First, that this painting is meant to be shared, is art to be shared, because it is only by sharing it that we can discuss the message that Dee tries to send us. Second, that although we can only tell the story of this painting from the fisherman's point of view, this painting is not about us. It's not about the fisherman. It's about the landscape. It's about the nature. And last but not least, another thing that we can learn with this painting is that we are not alone. As we've seen, this painting was clearly influenced by the Western, by the Classicism, by Renaissance, and influenced after. So telling us that maybe we are not that alone and we all end up talking about the same. So do the fishermen survive? Do they sink? The author doesn't give us a clue. We don't know. It's up to us. We cannot choose what happens with nature, but we can choose what we want to do. Which leads me to my third and last point. Although we may have never experienced a sea storm, we can all empathize right now with this feeling of impotence against something bigger. With the current pandemic, we are seeing how nature is superior to us and that sometimes we maybe cannot do much. But what have we done during these unprecedented times? We've jumped into culture and art. We've started reading more, we've watched more shows, we've even joined Toastmaster to practice public speaking. We've devoted ourselves to art because art connects us. Makes us feel engaged, makes us feel creative, and help us to tell our story. So maybe, just on this painting, the fishermen are not the protagonist, but the means to tell the story. So please let's make sure that culture does not close again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Lewis, for that wonderful